Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Manjiri Nadkarni, Ayurvedic MD, registered holistic nutritionist, and base allergy consultant. We are back for another session of Wellness Wednesday. Um, I'm your host. I'm an Ayurvedic doctor, holistic nutritionist, and today we are all going to discuss about different strategies to hack your fat burning hormones so you can achieve sustained weight loss. So, we are not looking at something which is a quick fix, but rather we are looking at something that is going to be some sustained for you. So that's the difference for today's video. And today we are also going to talk about several things. So the first thing that I wanted to touch base and talk about is that there is not one hormone when it comes to weight loss. Everybody talks about weight loss and hormones, but there is not one hormone that is involved when it comes to weight loss. Your weight loss is a result of multiple hormones, and there are several key hormones that are going to participate in supporting your body get rid of that stubborn weight that you have built up. Two of such main hormones are insulin as well as cortisol. Now, insulin is the blood sugar balancing hormone, but it is also the hormone that makes you pack on excess body fat, because what insulin does is any excessive sugar that you have ingested and you cannot utilize will be stored as fat in the body because of this insulin hormone. So that is the number one. The second one is cortisol, which is related to the stress hormone, right? It's the main stress hormone. It's related to your stress response. If you are someone who has belly fat, who has been struggling to lose weight but cannot lose weight, you have been feeling exhausted, really tired all the time, getting afternoon crashes, your cortisol is off balance. The other two hormones that are involved in weight gain or weight loss are called leptin and ghrelin. So, leptin is the one that satisfies you, it is the one that will signal your brain that, oh, you had enough to eat, it's time to stop. And ghrelin is the hormone that makes you growl with hunger. Thyroid hormones T3 and T4 are also involved with your body weight management because they regulate metabolism. There are other hormones like adiponectin, which is produced by fat cells, and that regulates the glucose level. There is also glucagon like peptide 1 and peptide YY, which also help with appetite suppression or appetite regulation. And then there are the norepinephrine and epinephrine, which are the adrenaline kind of hormones secreted by your stress glands, which are involved in the fight flight mechanism. Now, the question is, how do you know that your fat burning hormones are off balance? So, some ways that you can find out your fat burning hormones are off balance is if you have any of the symptoms I'm going to talk about, right? And if you have any of these symptoms, you can just say a quick yes. Or if you have questions about it, you can ask me the questions. So, if you are someone who's constantly gaining weight, or who's having difficulty losing weight, even if you're doing the perfect diet, even if you're exercising, even if you're managing your calories, and if you are not losing weight, it means that there is something off with your hormones. The second one is constant cravings. If you are craving sugar, that is one sign your blood sugar balancing hormones could be off balance. And if you're craving salt, that's a sign that your stress hormone, cortisol, could be off balance. If you are dealing with constant fatigue, if you have irregular menstrual cycles, if you lead a high stress life, if you have sleep issues, if you have cold sensitivity, if you have any digestive issues or decreased libido, they are all connected to imbalances in your fat metabolism, which are a result of your fat burning hormones getting off balance. So, what can you do if you have such issues with fat burning hormones? So, there are some simple hacks that you could try. And hacks are nothing but utilizing, the strategies in the best ways. Hacks does not mean cheating. Often hacks would be like cheating in some way, but these are some hacks, nutritional hacks, that I'm going to talk about, that will help you get your fat burning hormones activated for a sustained weight loss. The number one is going to be having protein at each meal. Now, while you do not require a high amount of protein, you do require at least some amount of protein. So, minimum of 15 to 20 grams at each meal, if not 30, because this protein is going to balance your insulin, it's going to balance your cortisol, and it's going to promote this satisfaction from the food that you have. Not only when it comes to the food that you eat, um, balancing the hormones, but protein also has the highest thermic effect in your body. So when you're digesting food, that itself will use up some calories, but protein, while digestion, uses up maximum calories, and it's going to boost your metabolism. And that is why each meal, if you start with the protein, that is going to be the best for your digestion, and that's also going to be best for your fat burning, right? It's good for your digestion because when your fire is stoked, you're giving it something dense that's going to digest very well, very fast. And from an Ayurvedic perspective, most of the animal proteins or vegetarian proteins are also sweeter in taste. That's the reason why. The second hack that you could try is eating healthy fats containing omega 3s at each meal. Now, the biggest problem with us in today's world is we have too much of omega 6 as compared to omega 3, and that screws up our fat metabolism. That is totally messing up all the hormonal signals in your body that will result in a good proper fat metabolism. So if you have a good amount, if you have low amounts of omega 3s, all your signaling for insulin sensitivity as well as adiponectin, which is secreted by your fat cells, is wonky. But if you eat good amounts of healthy omega 3 fats, which, like choosing salmon over chicken or beef, you know choosing walnuts, choosing chia seeds, flax seeds, other foods like sardines are also rich in omega 3. So omega 3 foods are going to support your adiponectin, which helps with improved insulin sensitivity. It is going to lower your inflammation, and it is also going to be very beneficial for your eyes, your brain, and your overall body, and not just your fat metabolism. And omega 3s are the best fats to have in your diet, and they are going to support your hormones as well as your neurotransmitters. Your brain is entirely a fat, and eating good amounts of fatty foods also promotes that satiety. You're not going to get constant cravings, right? So if you have good amounts of healthy fats in your diet, please type it in the box because I would like to know. Post it in the comments. And if you don't have enough omega 3 containing fats in your diet, you want to make sure that you are going to want to include those omega 3 fats in your diet. And this is recorded. So when you go back and click on the video, you can even save this video so you can watch it later. But it is recorded, so you can watch it later for sure. And if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to, answer those questions. The third one is always have do not eat carbs by themselves, right? So fruits, fruit juices, especially for somebody that has blood sugar imbalances or imbalances, insulin which is not sensitive, what you want to do is you want to have carbs with some kind of protein, fat, or fiber that is not pushing a lot of carbs or glucose into your bloodstream, right? Because if you have too much glucose in your bloodstream at any time, what's going to happen is you're going to increase that insulin secretion, and you're going to have too much insulin that's going to push all this glucose into convert it into fat and store it in the body, right? So you want to have some kind of protein, some kind of fiber, or some kind of fat with your food. So an example is, you could go for almond butter, which has both protein and fat, or you could choose foods that are whole grain based foods, right? So picking something like quinoa over rice, because quinoa has more protein, is going to be a good idea for someone struggling with insulin sensitivity. Adding some protein, like the lentil rice combination, is a good idea than having just plain rice, is another example. But having carbs with protein, fat, or fiber is going to be really good for you to balance your blood sugar. Now, the fourth one is eating enough fiber. So, fiber is extremely important for our detoxification, our gut detoxification. It supports your gut flora. We've talked about this before, but fiber is also extremely important for insulin sensitivity. Fiber is also something that's extremely important for appetite regulation, especially your hormones like leptin and ghrelin. Fiber is also important for stress regulation, balancing your cortisol, also estrogen balancing, which any excess estrogen in the body can be detoxified out of the body with good amounts of fiber. Fiber is going to detoxify your body of excess cholesterol, any kind of toxins, and make sure you do not stay constipated. So eating good amounts of fiber, a minimum 30 to 40 grams every day, is super essential. And there are two types of fiber, soluble as well as insoluble fiber. Soluble fibers often form a gel like substance when they are added to water. Insoluble, we cannot digest it, but then these fibers are going to be digested by your gut flora, which serves as a food for them, like these fiber serves as the food for them. Now, my fifth strategy is to make sure you're well hydrated. I cannot talk about the importance of hydration. I cannot stress upon it enough, because dehydration is the number one cause of a lot of stress in your body. Insulin is also dependent, your insulin response, because water is extremely essential for transport of glucose in the bloodstream. So if you are dehydrated, that will affect your blood viscosity, and that is going to impact insulin sensitivity. At the same time, if you have extreme dehydration, you will also have chronic high stress in the system, increased cortisol, and your hormones that influence appetite like ghrelin and leptin are going to get wonky as well. Even the metabolic hormones like thyroid hormones, the water is extremely important for conversion of inactive T4 into the active T3 hormone. And if you are dehydrated, your thyroid hormones are not working well. So this is one of the reasons why you need to drink good amounts of water. Half your body weight in ounces is a good amount of water to drink. You can start with a minimum of 8 glasses. And one of the best markers that you're not dehydrated is to check your urine color, which should be pale yellow and not bright yellow or darker yellow. So that's going to give you another good idea that you are well hydrated. Now, number 6 hack is to make sure you're getting a minimum 8 hours sleep. So minimum of 8 hours sleep, or at least a 7 hour sleep, is extremely essential. And this is the nighttime sleep, because our melatonin, which is the main hormone that controls the sleep wake cycle, or the sleep hormone, depends on is connected to your other hormones. It's also connected to your cortisol. So if you are not sleeping well, that is going to create additional stress in your body, and your cortisol is going to be elevated. So this is one of the reasons why you need a minimum 7 to 8 hours sleep. Your growth hormone, which helps your body repair and grow, is also dependent on the sleep. Your insulin, leptin, ghrelin, as well as sex hormones like testosterone and estrogen, require good amounts of sleep and resting to be able to be in a healthy state. At the same time, sleep deprivation will impact your thyroid hormones and also the adiponectin. There are several studies, several scientific papers already published on sleep and weight loss. And sleep is one of the number one things if you are looking for sustained weight loss. And if you are sleeping 3 hours or 4 hours a night, you are going to end up gaining weight and not lose any weight, right? So these are the six simple hacks to hack your fat burning hormones for a sustained weight loss. If you are interested in finding out more about how you can lose excess body fat, I have a program called the Complete Metabolic Reset, where I actually track. We can measure your body fat, we can measure your muscle mass, we can measure your metabolic rate, and we can make sure that we have all this data before we look at losing this excess fat. So if you are interested in that, you can message me or you can call Blue Water Nutrition at 519-336-5258 to book your free 15-minute consultation. If you have any questions or if there are some topics that you want me to cover for the Wellness Wednesdays, you can post it in the comment section or even message me. And this year, we are making sure we have this Wellness Wednesdays later in the day at 7 o'clock. So most of you can attend this live. And if you have any questions, you can always watch it later and post those questions below. So thank you once again for watching. Have a fantastic evening. And I will see you next week, Wednesday at 7 o'clock, for the next session of Wellness Wednesday. Bye for now.